This is so cool. When I first heard this song a couple of years ago, and I immediately downloaded it to my playlist and started practicing it. And little did I know how much this song contained. It has some monster chords in this song. You need to really, if you're serious about learning some chordal progressions, this song has the orchestration. It is a beautiful song, and of course, to my surprise, I'm watching a video of Eddie. He doesn't in the video. He actually doesn't start off with a song, so it catches you by surprise because he does it in the middle of the video. And so imagine my surprise when I see Eddie having had practiced the same song. It was really amazing. And in fact, there's someone else who was practicing the same song. Glenn Gibson. So it's interesting when there's a song that several musicians are all trying to get and trying to play and shed to. I believe that means that song may unlock some stuff that you need. So definitely, if you haven't seen the song yet, go take a look at it and go check it out. Because I think it's going to be very helpful to our development as musicians. Okay, the song is called "The Promise," and on the record. Okay, so on the record, the guy who plays the song, I believe his name is Mano Hayes. So let's look him up. Actually, Mano Haynes with an N. He's who was listed. And if you listen to him playing with Marvin Winans, now, and if you realize how simple these guys are, because everything's about placements, because everything is placements. Remember, they don't go for fancier chords, go for better placement. Let me say that again. Don't go for better chords. Go for better placement of simple chords. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be it's going to be how you use the simple stuff. Okay? And this song here that he's playing, now I want to give a connection. I want to give a connection because he's playing. Now I want you to hear this song. Or he may be using that. Let me take this off. Let me take this off the screen. Right, in D flat. But doesn't that sound just like The Promise, right? Same chord structures, same style. There's a certain style going on there, and that actually is not a style. But I'm going to show more in my in the video that comes with the media in the MIDI file. I'm going to kind of talk about the scale and the mode, because actually this whole song is actually coming in my mind from one mode, one scale. But that's not the point of this video. What I want to do is show the evolution of The Promise and how Eddie took concepts from this song and applied it to other songs, because there's a part of the song. Let me play it here. Let's see here. Now you see you see his face when he gets to that chord right there. Check that out. Yeah, he likes that chord. Now I want you to stay with me now. Let me unmute this thing. Why is it not playing here? So that's the chord voicing, right? Now, remember, musicians when we're playing, we're not just pulling things off of thin air. This is the chord that the song calls for. Okay? This is the voicing that is called for at that moment. And remember what I just said about placement, right? So check this out. This is cool. No, actually let me. Okay, now years later, Eddie's killing Total Praise. And I want you to listen. Because I use my ear. I don't use my piano, I use the ear. Ah. Wait, did you hear that? Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Let's do that. Let's do that again. Tell me what you hear. Now, when people hear that chord, they're like, "Oh man, that's so cool. He didn't make up a new chord. He used the chord in the Promise." But what did I say at the beginning? Placement, right? It's where he placed it. Because normally we normally do this, right? So he traded it. He traded it for that. But remember, it wasn't made up. He has been implementing that chord, practicing that chord. It's a part of his vocabulary. So at the time that he needed it, it was there for him. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the reason we learn songs, and we learn them at a deeper level so that they can be there for us. Now, what I want to do, that's not even the focus of the video. All right. So what I want to do is I want to look at a specific line from The Promise, and I want to unpack it. So I'm not even unpacking this whole song today. We're just going to look at The Promise, and let's start from, I'm going to bring up Spotify. Okay, so here's the line I want to look at. Okay, this one right here. Okay, so I want you to examine that line. I want you to hear what's going on. What kind of chords are going on? I'm talking about in the original song at that point of the song. I want you to listen for it. All right, let me take this out. So that sounds like what they're doing, but it sounds like they're holding it. They're not chording it at all. Is my point. They're holding a chord, right? So they're not chording it. It's open. This is very open. Leaving it open like that allows you then to come up with your own types of voicings, to come up with your own sounds at that one part. Now I want you to hear towards the end of the song, they start to develop that melodic line a little bit more when the strings are coming in, and I believe it's at let's try it all the way here. Okay, here it is. So do you see how they developed that one line? See? So they went with majors. Right? So and then you can add in that A there. to give it just a little bit of a dissonance there. You can do that, but essentially how they're using majors there. Now let's see what does Eddie do? What does he do at that part? I'm gonna pause it and go find it. There. Okay. Oh, so he's using suspendeds. Yeah, I think he's doing it like that. Okay, and I'm not even going to do the whole phrase, but the point being is that in the album they had the majors, but Eddie changed it to suspended. So point being, you can really do a whole lot of different things right there, and so that's going to be the focus of this video. Let's change this around for this melodic line, see what kind of chords we can come up with. Just some basic ways to improvise on that melodic line. Right, but what I want to do is look at those chords, not necessarily Eddie's chords, but just the part where he goes that part. So I just want to give you some alternate voicings you can do on certain melodic lines. We know what the melodic line is. We know that it's. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to come up with some chords there. And what a lot of people do is they just kind of play anything, you know. But we want to always be intentional about what we're playing. And one thing, like for instance, let's say that we want it. Now, what's the original chords? I think that's the original. I think that's the original way to do it. But and Eddie changed it. But what I want to do is show you the different types of chord voicings. So and be more intentional about what we're doing. Now let's say we wanted to use sus chords for that. Well, that's entirely possible, and it would sound nice as well. For instance, it would probably sound something like this. Now watch this. You see that? So how's that? And then and see, so that gives a nice sound if that's the sound you want, if that's the sound you're going for, right? And then actually I would have to go sus here too. And see, because sus, they sound so open, but the idea is that I'm using a sus chord, but I'm really using an E, and what I'm really doing is an E add to open voiced chord. So basically I'm going for this sound here. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going for this sound, knowing that I want that melody on top, knowing that this is the fifth note of the chord I want. So I know it's going to be the fifth note of this one. I know it's going to be the fifth note of that one. And then the fifth note of the D flat, right? And then the fifth note of the B, and then I did a. So, but what I did is I dropped this one right here and put it down. So it went like that. And then, right, something like that. So that's a sus sound. Right, and it sounds nice, right? Because you don't have to always play, because remember, it's that melody that I'm keeping on top, and so that's a very good idea that somebody could use. Now, let's change it up and use another type. Let's say we wanted to use minor chords then. For where's this thing? Yeah, for the minor chords, I would do something a little bit different, you know, for the minor chords, because the chords are already close to being minors. So in the right hand, I'd probably go. So And then I would probably hit to a major there because you know Corey does a lot of switching between a lot of minors and majors, but I would have them mostly minors, probably a voicing some similar to this, like that. See how that sounds? Okay, something like that. Because and the idea is that I'm doing all minor voicings, right? But I'm kind of giving that tritone in there, for that kind of a sound. So it's the A that's making this sound instead of doing. See how that sounds? Actually, actually, yeah, it should be that. So, uh, yeah, yeah. See that? And then, so yeah. See, so that's just with this one. But if I add that A in there, it gives it a different. See the dissonance in there, coming from the minor second of my left hand and the middle note of the inverted minor chord. But honestly, I probably, if I'm playing it with this, it's really all dominant chords. If I'm playing it with a bass note, see that? And I don't even know if I don't like that A being there. It almost sounds too dissonant, at least for me. And then, yeah, I just like that. And Corey does a lot of switching. He'll switch from, for instance, majors to minors. So he may have the first one as that, but then the second one may be a major, and then the third one may be a minor again, and then the fourth one may be a major. You know, you hear that, and then you hear the, you know, something like that. But I kind of like being more intentional instead of just throwing chords together, kind of having an idea of the sound that you're looking for. So that's if we wanted a what were we doing? A minor sound, right? So the first one we had was a sus, though. Remember? See the difference between that? But then when you have that minor, it's, see that? Right. I think I just messed up there. Yeah, see how that sounds? See the differences in those sounds and the quality of those sounds? Gives you a lot of ideas because we still have the same note on the top. I can even do major voicings, right? So check out the major voicings. Now don't forget our goal. We're still right. Don't forget that's what we're doing. We're working with that melodic line. And remember, I'm just kind of showing you different ideas of chords, things that you can do. You know, just taking one approach here. We're not even mixing and matching chords right now. We're just taking one approach. So let's try some particularly major sounds, right? How about this? Right? Now those are nice. Now let me add a bass with that, right? Heard that? Those sound nice because I like those major chords. And now these are majors, right? And I'm gonna show you why in a sec. Or no, I like this. You know what? I have an idea. How about this? All right. So, and the idea I'm going with there is, I'm thinking, now somebody's saying, but no, you're thinking, Those are minor chords. It says minor 9. Actually, though, I'm actually in my head. I'm thinking majors. The way it's voiced, I realize with that F on the bottom, it gives a bass, but if you think about it, I actually did major chord voicings in my right hand. See, that's what I did with my right hand. Because in my minor voicings, I didn't use that voicings. I went like this with the minor voicing, right? Which gives a distinct minor sound. But when I see that gives a this voicing here gives a major sound. The F sharp at the bottom changes the quality to a minor chord, but in my mind still sounds major-ish, simply because you've got the E here, which the E, G sharp and the B make that minor, then that E is doubled, okay? That A gives it the sus quality, so this is definitely a minor sound, okay? The F sharp, this is definitely a major sound. Now that F sharp obviously changes the quality to minor, but still is a very different type of voicing than the last one. And then what I did from here is, so that was the movement I was thinking of, a half step movement up to, but that's not the way I did it. I went, right, but the idea was that once I got to this, actually, I've been doing this, which means I know that one is clearly, there's no way that I can change that, because if you look at that right hand there from that chord, the minor there, so I would have had to do that to retain the major sound that I wanted. But I wanted to go. I purposefully wanted a minor voicing at that part of the phrasing. Okay, and now, is there any other type of chord I would do? I mean, not really. And a lot of people can do all kind of stuff there, and they not even or I mean, but stuff like that people do. I think that, like the one I just did now, that was no thought into that. I wouldn't even be able to explain it. And I don't like, I'm trying to get away from just playing things because they sound good, Something like that. To me, I don't care if you think it sounds good or not. It doesn't make sense. Like it. Maybe there's some theory behind what I just did, but if I don't know it, then what's the point of playing it? I need to be intentional. See, we have to be intentional about what we played so we can repeat it, so that we can act. If it's a part of a vocabulary, we'll know what we said, right? Because if you say a word and someone asks you, well, what does that mean? You can tell them. You don't just say stuff that doesn't mean anything. It has to have some meaning. It has to have some value to you. You have to know what you're doing. So when I'm going like this, I know I can explain it. You see what I mean? And if I can't explain it, then what did I just play? It's not being fancy if I don't even know what I played. So I think the thing is, I just kind of want to emphasize on being intentional, just kind of being purposeful about the kind of chords you're playing. And there's actually, this kind of leads me to something else, actually. The purpose of music is to stir the emotions. It's to try to try to get past that logical part. And it's kind of difficult for a channel that analyzes, because most of what the channel does is we're analyzing things. But at the end of the day, you can talk about those musicians that only play 3 or 4 chords all you want, but some of those musicians who play 3 and 4 chords are very popular, right? They know how to reach people. They can tap into people's psyche. They can tap into what people are feeling, what people are thinking, and change the mood of a room. They can change people's emotions. They know how, if somebody comes in sad, they know they can change them to be happy. If they come in happy, they can kind of make them more thoughtful or reflective. So we as musicians, that's what it is. And so it's more than just chords. It's more than just, I don't think we should just be focusing on just chords. I always try to find a context. I talk about context a lot, but emotional context. Like, what kind of mood are you trying to set? We need to really get out of being super analytical to the point where we don't understand the goal, the overall goal of music. And so I think that if you're, for instance, if I'm going for that sus quality, um, see that to me that sounds, it sounds so open. I'm purposefully not wanting to give any tension right here, and it could be that the chords before it had a lot of tension. You know, um, that voicing there has a lot of, that voicing has some tension there. So how about I ease that tension? How about I ease that tension by